The Raptors make it 2 in a row as they take down the Memphis Grizzlies 116-111. Welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Jack Armstrong, Leo Rautins, and Paul Jones. First off, happy birthday, Jack. You're looking great. Must have been a quiet night last night in Memphis.
No comment. Let's just say
no
that.
No comment. All right.
The king has left the building.
Let's get to the game. I'll start with you. Raptors showed a lot of toughness tonight, closing quarters and then punching back to close out the game. What stood out to you, Jack?
To me, I just thought they were resilient. I thought different combinations of their guards. Quickley was fabulous in just a flurry. I thought Dennis Schroeder's given him really good minutes of late. He's back to playing the way he did early in the season. And he's buying into his role coming off the bench. And then obviously at different times, I thought Jakob Poeltl back-to-back games has played as well as you can play defensively. What do you have, 5 blocks tonight? And countless other challenges at the rim and his screen assists. Again, a lot of the stuff he does doesn't show up in the scorebook, but man, oh man, it helps you win. I just thought, we haven't seen, what is this, game 34? We haven't seen a lot of games like this where they've played, relatively speaking, with a comfortable lead. They've been down 10 or 12 most of the season, but not up 10 or 12.
Jonesy, what stood out to me late in that game was just the options that were available, right? Like Pascal got a touch when he came back and then didn't get one for a while. And you've got Quickley, you've got, RJ Barrett, you've got, Scotty Barnes. Like this seems like a completely different situation.
Yeah, and it's going to be something that Darko is going to have to manage. And guys' roles are going to have to be kind of crafted for that part of the game when you get that close. I mean, I thought Scotty went a while without a touch in the fourth quarter, but then he was being very unselfish in terms of directing Quickley, saying, "No, you got the mismatch. You go." And he can't be that unselfish at times. Sometimes he's got to look for his. And at the right time. But you're right, Randy. I thought there were a lot of options there. And to Jack's point, this is the second game. They had a decent lead against Cleveland too. And it just gives your margin of error a little bit of a break, that when you turn it over or you don't make a shot, instead of being, like desperate for that possession, you trot back on D. You're still up 5. It's going to be a tough game, but you still have the lead. So that's something that impressed me. And I think, I look at Quickley and he's fitting in. He really is fitting in. And look, they're not afraid to give him the ball and say, run your screen and roll. The more I look at him, and it's the Kentucky thing, he's got a lot of that Tyrese Maxey light in him. He's very fast with the ball, can break you down, shoots it from distance. I love what the young man's giving the Raptors right now.
Leo, what was one of the keys that stood out to you for this win?
I just thought overall energy. I liked it. We've seen, with this team sometimes indifference, right? You're really not sure what you're going to get. And we've seen 2 games now. And obviously when you bring in some new guys, it's going to be a little bit of a change, right? A little influx of energy. But I just like the consistent level of energy that I've saw these last 2 games. And this game that, you look at Quickley and you think about Darko's system, making quick decisions, not hanging out to the ball. I think he's perfect for that, right? And it's a lot easier than maybe walking into a program that's got all kinds of sets and things they want to try to run, as opposed to come in and move the basketball, move yourself. I think he's showing that he can play in a system very well. And Jack made the point, when you can have another point guard like Dennis Schroeder, which I was pretty confident that there's not a lot of guys that, they're either a starter or a bench guy. And Schroeder can go either way. Quickley can go either way. He showed that in New York too. So you got Quickley in the starting line. Now Schroeder comes in off the bench, and you got 2 quality point guards right now that can really give teams problems, and they can play together too. So I really I just like the overall feel right now. And again, you don't want to go over the edge and go too crazy. It's only a couple of games, but I'm liking what I'm seeing at this point.
What about the other new guy, Jack? How would you describe RJ Barrett's performance tonight?
I thought RJ early in the game was excellent in terms of just the physicality that he played with and the grit and the toughness. He's got to cut down on a few plays. He had turnovers the other night against Cleveland, 5 of them. And tonight there were a few plays that maybe he took kind of a low risk plays, but overwhelmingly, again, it's a new team, just getting comfortable. I think he's going to be fine. I like his ability to slash, play off the ball as well, and I think he's done a good job as well. I think defensively, he's really shown me a lot. I think he's really tonight. I thought in the first half, I pointed it out a few times. I thought he and Jakob Poeltl by far were the best two defenders for the Raptors, and they did a good job setting the tone in this game with just their physical play and their attention to detail. So, again, to me, I think for a guy just getting here a few days, he's done a good job so far.
Hey, Jack, to your point, if I can jump in, that, okay, Raptors started out a little slow, right? Memphis played really good right away. And RJ was part of turning that around, right? RJ was part of that, being aggressive. And a lot of times, and again, not a knock on OG, but a lot of times OG can be very passive offensively, whereas RJ will hunt down some shots, right? He'll look for his offense. And as Jack's saying that, he's trying to be aggressive defensively. So the Raptors avoided a slow start and got back into the game quicker because of RJ's presence. And that's an important thing because a lot of times we've seen they dug themselves holes that were very difficult to get out of.
Can I just make one point to what Leo just said? And it just hit me, and it's a great point that you had. I think both of these guys have a motor.
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, like Quickley and RJ, they have motors, man. They are competitive people. They are winning players. They come from a winning program in New York. Obviously, great college programs as well. But to me, they just have a motor that they play with. And this team has struggled this year in first quarters. This year, these first two games with these guys, they've come out ready to play, man. And it's a different look to this team.
Randy,
and Jones,
go
ahead. No, I was just going to say, I mean, Pascal's got so much more room now, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. And you look at RJ, to the point of getting things going. He loves to go downhill, man. He does. He's not going to settle. I mean, he'll take the wide open stuff, but he's not going to settle. And he gets downhill. And you're right. It creates like some of that room for Pascal is because you got Quickley on the floor. Scotty's making threes now. I thought Scotty had a really quiet game. Like he did some really nice things, but his game was maybe I'm getting used to it right now. Maybe I'm getting used to the expectations and what we think Scotty's going to provide. But he was terrific tonight. And Pascal's another one. You've got a team, you got a couple guys on the court that really like to get downhill, really like to get into the paint in RJ and Pascal. And that's going to open it up for other guys. They find Poeltl down there as well. He's good at, cleaning stuff up, the short floaters in the lane. I like the potential where the offense can go. I mean, they're doing this right now, and they really haven't had a chance to practice or learn anything because it's all on video right now and kind of doing it on the fly.
Yeah, and Leo, Pascal getting to his spots is a key, and I thought he did that really well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Pascal, well, one, he's shooting the ball better, right? Especially from distance, which when he's shooting the ball better from distance, people are going to have to come up and respect him, right? They just can't play off him. And I think the fact that the team can run, get down the floor, he can run. He's definitely getting his spots, and he's being aggressive with his looks. He's not hesitating. He's not hanging onto the ball. He's playing quickly. And when he does that, he's shown all season long that when he does that, he's a hard guy to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the big thing for Pascal is, like I said, you got your shots, you take them. You stay aggressive there. You continue to attack and just be a factor defensively. Early in the game, he picked up a couple of fouls that, he is so long and so quick that if he just says, I'm just going to stay in front of you, nothing else, he's a hard guy to play against, right? Mm-hmm. But he'll gamble and do some things that he doesn't have to do that can put him in a tough situation. And he does that sometimes late in the game. So offensively, he can give you a lot. If he can defensively do some of the things I'm talking about, it can make big changes here.
Jack, when I look at the defensive side of the ball, obviously they've given up, pretty big fourth quarters the last two games. But overall, I thought the defense has been outstanding, especially in the first half. What's sticking out on that side of the ball for you?
Well, I made the point earlier about Pirtle and Barrett in the first half. I just think the pressure on the ball, the communication, they're doing a good job helping each other, helping the helper. Being positionally in the right spots. They're not giving up cheapies in transition, right? That's been a frustrating thing every night where they're giving up 2, 3, 4 baskets a night on a made shot where guys are just coming down and they're not ready. I think they've tightened the screws a little bit in terms of their defense, making people have to go 5-on-5 against their half-court D. So I just think they've been a little bit more disciplined, a little more on point, on task.
Jonesy, we saw what the Grizzlies were without Ja Morant. Now we've seen them with Ja Morant. What do you think is their ceiling this season?
Well, they've dug themselves such a huge hole that, they're 13th right now, and it's going to take a while to reintegrate Ja. Like they've got him back, but they're also missing another key piece in Dylan Brooks. So now they're learning to play. And look, people can say what they want about Dylan Brooks. There's a guy on our screen who was the coach of our national team, and he said he would take him on his team anytime. So would I. He's a competitor. He gives you something, and Memphis is adjusting to playing without him now that they get Ja back. I think best case scenario for Memphis is they can get into the play-in, but the West is a grind right now, and they have just dug themselves a huge hole. Even tonight, like you look at their offensive numbers, they're last in the NBA in scoring. They're last in three-point percentage. They're near the bottom in field goal percentage. Like in a league now where everybody's scoring and it's shoot them up and sleep in the streets in the summertime, their guns are empty right now. Yeah. So I just think it's going to fall a lot on him. What are they now? 2-4 with him, or they're going to come back, but I don't know if they're going to make the run. And I think the expectations need to change for this team because they're not where they were last year.
Jonesy, you're being cute with the guns comment, huh?
Sorry.
Great stuff, guys. Going to stop it there. Next game for the Raptors, Friday night against the Sacramento Kings. Tip-off at 10 p.m. Eastern. Raptors Tonight will go live on YouTube shortly after the game. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.